I like the hair. I don't think I've seen a pony on you before.
Yeah, just doing it a little differently today.
It's fun. It's gorgeous. How are you?
Good. Just taking it all in. How are
I
you?
know. I'm good. I am so excited to have the chance to sit with you today. I just want to start off by saying that I am a massive fan. I fell in love with you so hard as I was watching the season. And honestly, I think the biggest win for TV right now is you saying no to Shake. So I was actually in shock when you said that. And I'm not sure if anybody else has felt the same way because the way the show was edited, it kind of seemed like you were 100% into it. You were like, yes, Shake is the one for me. So was that an accurate depiction or at some point where you're like, ugh, this is not for me?
Yeah, you don't get to see all of my doubts and my fears with that whole relationship. There were moments where I was like, oh my gosh, this could potentially work because we did connect and we, built a foundation and like we had fun. But when someone's telling you they're not physically attracted to you or you're lacking chemistry in different ways, you tend to you always are gonna have doubts in that relationship, right? And so yeah, no, I wasn't very like confident on Shake because he isn't my physical type either. And so, I don't fault him for any of it. But we wanted to lean into the experience and see if that thing can grow. And that's kind of where my mindset was at.
It just seemed like you were so into it, but also like kudos for going through with the experiment, no matter how awkward it might have made you feel or like how many doubts you might have had with the experiment itself, because it's tough to like really stick to your guns and go through the entire thing. But brown girl to brown girl, were you nervous what your parents thought about this entire experiment and then like watching it back and seeing you being physical and public with somebody?
Yeah, absolutely. It was really tough. And like, I mean, I did warn my parents beforehand.
Yeah.
Especially my poor little grandpa. I was like, don't skip episode 2. But I think it was important for me to go on there and talk about sex, talk about intimacy, because these are things in our culture that are taboo, but it's such a big part of our lives. And I wanted to represent that and say, it's okay to talk about these types of things. It's okay to be sexual. And this was my fiance, someone I'm getting married to. So it's okay to kiss on camera. And I wish I toned it down just a little bit, but a little bit more tasteful. But all in all, I'm happy that I could just be myself and be authentic.
Yeah. Did you watch any of that back with your parents or did you do like a separate?
Absolutely not. Actually, I woke up at 2 a.m. every single morning to watch it. They didn't release the episodes to us beforehand. So, I had no idea. I was watching it with the rest of the world. So
would you have to like warn them like, hey guys, a 22 minutes skip to like 27?
it was mostly my siblings who were warning me. So they were really supportive and there for me. And even my family, as hard as it was for them to watch it, they really had my back.
I just want to hop to something that's a bit more current. So literally just recently, Shake, he posted this public apology video that was solely directed towards you and just apologizing for what he did. And I noticed in his caption, he said that like, I actually reached out to Deepti privately. So did he actually reach out to you to apologize? What did that conversation look like if it actually did happen?
Yeah, I think he did that 5 minutes before he put that video out. And he literally just like said the exact same thing he said in the video. But honestly, for me, it just felt so inauthentic and not genuine in any way. Genuinely was sorry for what he did or how he treated me or how he if he knew that it hurt me, right, he would have apologized when the first 4 episodes had dropped, and I honestly think that he just did that to save face because he's getting so much hate online and so many people are coming after him. So I really think that that apology was just I think it's just a little too late and I didn't respond.
Yeah. So there was no conversation then. It wasn't like, Didi, I'm so sorry. And you're like, we've moved on.
No, I didn't respond to him. I haven't responded to him for a month or so now. And yeah, I just no longer have energy for him anymore. And he's clearly spiraling out of control with his social media. So I need to move on. This chapter, I just want to close it and I just want to put good out into the world and just move on from this person.
I thought that when he said that he had apologized to you, you guys were now on good terms, because now to like post it publicly so everyone sees, he's regretful or remorseful is kind of like not the best look, now knowing that like you guys didn't actually have a conversation.
No, there was no conversation. Yeah, I mean, he just said, I apologize, but like, it just was so not authentic and like not personal. And I'm just like, what is this? Like, his whole social media is kind of like an oxymoron to me, because literally if you look at the video from the week prior, he's saying how he's not sorry, and that video is still up. So I'm like, which is it? And I'm just not ready to ride this emotional roller coaster that he's on. I just need to be stable and protect my energy, and I just have no room for him anymore in my life.
It's interesting that you mentioned his social, because I'm not gonna lie, I craved him after I watched the show. But it was like he was posting photos with you after the final episode had aired, and I was like, oh crap, they're still friends, they're on good terms. But I assumed that was like not true, right?
No. And now I understand. It's interesting to me because anytime we would hang out in a social setting, just with the cast and things like that, we go and do things like Friendsgiving and things like that. And now it makes sense to me why he would always take pictures. I'd just be like, okay, but we don't really, after filming had wrapped, I tried to be friends with him, hoping for at least that, because we went through such a bonding experience, like no one else would understand. So I thought we could at least have that friendship. But just seeing how he acts on social media, how he treats women, how he talks to people, and he has an issue with at least one person in the room anytime we're together, and I'm just like, why do I need this person in my life? He's not adding value. In fact, he's causing chaos. It's kind of draining my energy, and I don't want to have to like protect him anymore, because I would constantly be sticking up for him, and I'm just done with it. Yeah.
I think throughout the season, you prove that like self-love right now in your stage of life is so important to you, which should be commended on like a whole other level. But I just want to hop back now to like the season while the show was going on. I was actually kind of shocked when Shake was like, I'm not physically attracted to Deepti, because I was like, dude, your actions showed something very different with that double ass grab when he saw you for the first time. So were you shocked? Because it went from like level 200 to I'm not physically attracted. Like, how did you take and handle that situation?
Yeah, it was really tough for me, because I was very optimistic, because we did that proposal. I mean, of course, the proposal, but the reveal was actually a beautiful moment for us.
Mm-hmm.
It was very special to me because he made me feel comfortable. He touched my feet and like put the ring on me, and like we obviously we kissed a lot. So I was hopeful that I was like, oh whoa, like is this actually real? Like, are we actually gonna do this? Like. And then, when we get to Mexico, his whole demeanor changed. I started to see him pull back a little bit more. And, so yeah, it was tough for me because basically, my whole life, I've like, struggled with confidence and self-esteem issues, and I've really built myself up. And for someone to be like, I'm just not physically attracted to you, it's weird, but I didn't fault him for it. Everyone has their preference, and and that's why I continued on with the experience, because I thought, that physicality is something that could grow, because I did care for him, and I thought he did for me as well. So yeah, it was definitely tough to relive.
I like really appreciate that you tried to just really, really work on that emotional connection, because I feel like that is the strongest thing for a marriage and moving forward in life, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You can never change yourself. I mean, everyone else is taken,
Yeah. Well, whoever ends up with you is going to be very lucky. At one point, I was kind of hoping it was me, but I'm also married.
Yeah. Throuple, baby.
Yeah. So, I mean, the show, I was just like watching it, and I'm pretty sure the rest of the world was completely appalled when Shake is running around telling people like, oh my God, it feels like I'm with my aunt or like a family member. So what was it like when you watched that for the first time? Because I assume he literally never told you that to your face, right?
Oh, never. And like, even though some of the other castmates like have told me that he hasn't talked about me in the best light, they never told me specifically what he said or anything. yeah, I think watching it back, I was a little hurt, but at the end of the day, I think, I really have worked on myself, and I've realized that, that has nothing to do with me and who I am. It has everything to do with who he is and what he's projecting. He has a lot of internalized, things that he's dealing with, and, for him to project that onto me, that's his problem. And I can't take it to heart. Watching it back, I really did, after filming had wrapped, really started working on myself again, and like get to a good emotional state, knowing that, maybe I might see and hear some things that is going to hurt me.
How do you prepare for that? I don't think you would have known it would have been to this extent, to this level that he was talking behind your back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, honestly, he said much worse. So I'm glad,
How does it get worse than what he said?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into specifics of what he said, but, he did get a good edit. And so I'm just happy. But yeah, honestly, you can't prepare for it. You just have to constantly talk to yourself and have conversations with yourself and say, okay, wait, this is not about you. You are beautiful. You're confident. You're perfect just the way you are. And someone is going to love you for that. And it's not Shake. And that's okay. The conversations you have with yourself are very, very important in that time.
And I think it's really hard to be in a situation and not hold like a grudge, but it doesn't seem like you are, because it's like, yeah, this has nothing to do with me. It's just like everybody else, and everybody at some point in their life kind of has to work on themselves, right? And I think that's probably the situation that he's in. But the show is really interesting because they didn't show any of your connection with Kyle. And when he was at the reunion, is like, I love Deepti. I was like, huh? Where the heck did this come from? So, like, I know you've said before too that he was actually your number 2 in the pods, and you kind of went with Shake because at the time it kind of seemed like a more stable choice. So, looking back at all of this now, knowing all of this, do you regret saying yes to Shake in those pods?
Oh man, I go back and forth on this all the time. Like, oh, why didn't I marry Kyle? But I think I honestly, I have no regrets, because I think I was supposed to go through this experience with Shake so I can learn more about myself and learn how confident and strong I am. And this is like the hardest thing I've been through. And for me to be able to come out on top and know that, I'm still good. I'm good. I am strong to get through something like this. And yeah, I think I've learned so much, the most about myself in this whole process. So yeah, I don't have any regrets. I think I was definitely supposed to go through this.
And I don't know if you're aware of this, but girl, you are on TMZ now. Like, do you know this?
I heard today. I'm shocked.
Google's your name. Oh. It's like Deepti TMZ. And I was like, huh? It's like literally this creepy video of you and Kyle.
Oh my gosh. We were literally just shopping. Honestly, we were like, let's get some food and shop.
After TMZ has officially reported on it, are you and Kyle just friends, or is there a little something going on?
Kyle and I are best friends. He's really been my support system through this entire process, and him, both of us had like hard stories and situations, and Kyle was my number 2 in the pod, so I've already built that connection, and we have that foundation, and we've talked for so long. But yeah, we're honestly, I'm so grateful to have him in my life, and yeah, one of my best friends, honestly.
Well, sometimes best friends leads to marriage, because I married my best friend. So it could be in the cards somewhere down the line. Like talking about weddings, the other thing, when I was watching the show, I was really curious. I guess you kind of knew at a point before the wedding that you were going to say no, like this was not happening. So when you're filming the show, does it feel weird to go like wedding dress shopping and then putting your wedding dress on and going to your wedding when you know you're going to say no?
Yeah, that was such a bittersweet moment, because I was trying to lean into the experience, and maybe a tiny piece of me was holding out hope that like Shake would come around. I don't know, probably not though, but honestly, even if he did, I had already made up my mind that I was going to say no, because how could I marry somebody that doesn't have physical connection with me, or like doesn't see that it could grow somewhere, or like that there's potential, So yeah, it was very hard for me to walk down the aisle with my dad in the wedding dress, but I think, I had worn them already, and I guess I just had to say no in a bomb ass dress. I don't know. That was my, yeah. And that's the whole part of the experience, right? At the altar, you kind of make your decision. So I was very much leaning into the experience. And, I was thinking I could, our physical connection could grow, but it just didn't.
Yeah, which is fair. And it made for a lot of good memes, which is great. But
Yeah.
out of curiosity, what are your DMs like now? Because I feel like there must be hundreds and thousands of people just being like, hey, Deepti, it didn't work out, but like, you're special and precious and we could be there for you. So have you been getting a lot of those messages?
Thousands. It's been so insane. Been getting a few, professional players from overseas. The ones that resonate with me the most are the women that have reached out to me saying that I've inspired them, like 14, 15, 16-year-olds that are like, they're just struggling with their confidence, and so many women that are in relationships that are not serving them well and they're just too afraid to leave. And I'm just like in awe of all of the stories that I've been
Yeah.
yeah, just the love and support I've been getting. It's just been so surreal. And I think, it makes this entire experience worth it because, yeah, this has come out of it. So it's been amazing.
Yeah. Now you're like a role model for so many people. But before we leave, I want the tea. What are these players saying to you? Like, give me some examples. I don't have a good imagination, so I don't know what they're saying.
They're just shooting their shot. They're just like, oh, you're beautiful and I would take care of you. Or like, come to Portugal or come here. So yeah.
Do you respond or do you just leave it unread?
I haven't responded to most things just because there's thousands of them. There's so many. And if I do find one that's like truly, truly inspiring, or like someone that's just really going through a really, really tough time, I tend to respond. Just because I want to ease their pain a little bit.
Of course.
They're not in it alone, and that we can all get through this together, like women empowerment.
Yeah, I was one of the people that slid into your DMs. I was like, I love Deepti. Maybe you should do like an Instagram live with me and we'll be like best friends. And then, well, hey, we did it through this. So this counts too, right?
Absolutely. I could totally see myself being friends with you.